I will try to be brief, open some questions, and hopefully we'll discuss afterwards. I'm going to present two projects, quite different in scale and in the conditions that were done, but maybe similar in approach, or even the same. So I will start with the project proposal, concept proposal for the Serbian Pavilion in Venice Biennale 2012, Common Ground. And this is a collaborative project that we called Open. So as it says here, the project deals with the specific in-between state of architecture during the process of being built or constructed. And so what we actually wanted to discuss among 12 of us, so it's a story about the collaboration as well, because 12 architects gathered around this project. It's let's say the same circle. It's a horizontal. It was a horizontal collection of architects. We all collaborated among ourselves in a smaller circles, but never in this amount of people. And it is extremely exhausting. It is not easy at all. It was almost unbearable at some points. And it's really hard because you have this, as I said, horizontal collection of people, similar age, big ambitions, or people thinking architecture, not only producing. So everyone sort of has an angle, a point of view. So at some point we realized that there are two pathways that we could follow. It's either one that would deal with some kind of a singularity or a simple expression, maybe even banal. So to open the whole process to the specter and to the third person who is going to actually then develop a concept or a story afterwards, or we're going to try to conceptualize a project open enough that could host all of our particularities inside of it. So when you say open, it's everything that sort of we were looking for on some level, but then we could go further. So I will just discuss a bit about the concept of the exhibition itself. So Serbian Pavilion in Giardini area, probably most of you know, has already been there, is bordering the area of Giardini with the cityscape of Venice. So what we actually wanted to do was to let's say question this territoriality of the pavilion and maybe offer it to the everyday life of Venice instead of Giardini. So from the inside you would be only able to look at the processes or the everyday life happening in the pavilion itself. I think maybe we could go further as well. And but the whole timetable of the pavilion would have been shifted from the agenda and the timetable of the Biennale itself. So during the vernissage, it wouldn't have been open yet. It would be finished, or it would be just like in the process of making. We can go further, I think. So this is the external door. With this, we wanted to question as well the whole concept of these national pavilions and as a 19th century concept of Biennale itself. And the next one is it's from the vestibule in the Giardini. And for the catalog, I think we could go further. This used to be a video. Okay, it's a PDF now. Further. It's a still image now. Further, you can go. And this was supposed to be a catalog of the exhibition. This space in time of the process of architecture, where the architectural object is open for possibilities. So there is not the final, there is no envelope, there is not a final outlook on the object as an object. It's some kind of a platform for possibilities to happen. And this is what we found interesting, and the next one as well. For this one, and this space is actually used, and it's an unfinished gallery in the walls of Kalemegdan Fortress in Belgrade. And it's being used as this. It's a lovely, it's a beautiful space, open outdoor space. So what we actually and after all the project failed. We didn't win. And the failure is it did fail as a project on some level, because the project gained so much complexity in this collaboration that it was overwhelming. It overwhelmed the concept, this clean idea, or not the clean idea, but this specific idea was somehow contaminated by the amounts of inputs coming in, because everyone wanted to, and there was like layers and layers and layers of projects developing, and so you lose the grip of what is actually important with the concept. But on the other hand, this project kind of established some kind of discourse maybe among the group of 12. And then afterwards, dealing with this failure, we realized that it's more than this. And even though we didn't gain an opportunity to do this in the Biennale, we could probably you can go further maybe. Biennale. We could then maybe develop particular ways of discussing and developing architecture as an open process. For me, I was particularly interested in the methodology of design and the process of developing, the process of designing, not developing, but the process of designing architecture, and what does this incompleteness, like operational incompleteness, what does it mean on the level of the architectural design process? And I asked myself whether it is possible to exclude, whether this incompleteness means excluding some of the parts of the regular design process in order for this element to come afterwards, so to come after the design process is done. I will just briefly go to 2008 Biennale again. This is a pavilion, a Polish pavilion. It gained a Golden Lion in 2008 for this exhibition, Hotel Polonia, and it deals with this afterlife of architecture, or I would say maybe life after death. So it develops sort of an intriguing dystopical image of futures of architecture after it stops being used, or after it stops being useful for the program that it was designed for. And this is the Foster's office building becoming a metropolitan prison, especially, and it's a typological thing because it has these round circular atriums that are really could be well looked at, and in a sense of security. And another one. But then we have this year's Golden Lion as well for Torre David, Venezuela. So this is not only dystopical futures; it actually happens. So it happens for in contemporary life. And then I wondered, okay, yes, but this was supposed to be a red-blooded office corporate building. It was conceived this way. It was supposed to be an office building. It failed for some reasons, and then it got squatted. So it's like this reprogramming came afterwards. So it's not process-based at all. It's a red-blooded building, office building, and the contingencies of everyday life turned it into some kind of vertical spot which gained an award. So then I wonder, and you probably all know this drawing. It's Dira's video drawing of a dinner party, and this is what we do always during we are supposed to do this during our design process. So we design the first image, but then we kind of need to anticipate the next two as well. Because it is only a daily routine, so could we kind of imagine this variability of a program on a different scale in the sense of time as well? So is it possible to anticipate this in the process of designing architecture, drawing, not the process of building, but the process of designing? And then I will switch to the project. It's again, as I said, it's a red-blooded project of social housing, and it was a competition in Belgrade, 2010. I collaborated with several architects, my age, and we kind of established this office. It's more of a studio, and it is on some level it is collaboration as well. Similar to those that we discussed during these days, though it's smaller. It's more of a collection of people, individuals, more of a collection of individuals than formatted cooperation. So it's on and off based, kind of. Some of us are there all the time, kind of, but mostly it's on off. So we entered this competition, and when I said it's Belgrade, it's not Belgrade at all. It's outskirts of Belgrade. It's like beyond Belgrade, and it's in this sense it's out of city. It's beyond the city. It's beyond society. It's a really problematic position of this huge housing that is supposed to host 5,000 people. So 1,500 apartments was the brief of the competition project. So it's like an instant ghetto, kind of. And we still entered the competition because we were intrigued with this, and we were almost in the state of mind saying, I disagree with the question. You know what, like, I completely disagree with the question, but I'm still going to answer in a way that you made this brief and framework, and we'll see what's going to happen afterwards. And Martin. So this is the landscape, and this is I disagree with the question, architectural concept. So since it's all outwards, everything is out of the context, out of the society, out of the city, out of the infrastructure, we said, okay, let's try to make it inwards. Let's try to make it as internalized as possible. Let's try to make it completely internalized, if it's possible at all. So instead of putting separate buildings in this magnificent landscape, visually, we try to make some kind, or to anticipate some kind of community life inside of these blocks. It's really huge, Martin. And this is how we try to trigger ourselves to think of it as a possibility, as a good thing, actually. Martin. So basically, it's typologically, it's a gallery. We can go further, I think, as well. And it's a huge density. It's super urban density that was proposed for this location, and with the 5-story high buildings. But these courtyards are enormously big. They're like 100 meters by 100 meters. The whole structure is 100 meters by 400 meters long. So it's almost like Super Studio got lucky. And what we tried typologically is, as you can see it in this drawing as well, that the matrix, the structure is anonymous, kind of. It's completely stripped of any aesthetical order or any aesthetical decision making whatsoever. It's a grid. It's a sort of a conceived as an infrastructure that could host for and actually enable any generic changes that inhabitants would make by definition, because this is what happens in housing. People want to change the space somehow for themselves. I will just comment on the structure. Excellent, great. So typologically, it's a gallery. It's a corridor, one-sided corridor facing these internal courtyards. And if you can see it, and I'm sure you can, the structure looks really rigid and really dense and ordered, and it is. But the whole concept that we developed was to actually, from this rigid ordered matrix, any kind of change could actually happen. The apartments themselves are quite thin from the entry point to the windows, enabling even the smallest apartments to have more facade. And when you have a lot of facade, then you can make changes as well in reference to the quantity of space. So this is something that we try to establish as a sort of an agenda for this project. That the structure holds an ambition to be considered as architecture. It is conceived as a matrix, as infrastructure, articulated and designed to allow, even enable, any intervention of potential inhabitants. And this approach anticipates generic practices of living accessibly present with lower standards of dwelling. It's social housing in question. And the structure becomes architecture only after life moves in. And the next one. And then a colleague asked me, but how is this not aesthetic? How is this not an aesthetical approach? And on some level, it has. It is. It was not. It was this procedural, intentional exclusion of one procedure in the design process. So we intentionally excluded it from the design process in order for it to appear afterwards. And in this particular question, it supposedly it would appear when it is built, and it is actually when people start living there. I would just comment on the we gained a second prize for this project. We never hoped for. I mean, we never expected it because, as I said, we approached the whole thing on the level of disagreeing with the brief, and afterwards there is this post competition procedure happened with this project, which is quite, as a model, it's quite interesting because 8 teams were then collected to do a new master plan, or as actually we ourselves invited ourselves to be a part of this process, and now it was 33 of us architects, and we said to the city authorities, we said, okay, but you really think that someone could do this better than us? It was 33 of us, because we all know this area, we all studied it, we know the program, and there is no way that a municipal urbanistic institute could actually do it better than we could, because we know this better. So they said, okay, but we cannot pay you, and we were like, okay, but we're gonna still do it because we believe in this. So then we organized workshops, and then we started into this process, and then actually, for some reason, excluded this process from this talk because I thought it's a pecha kucha and there's 20. Next. I don't think oh yeah, that's the next one, which is actually saying the same thing as the previous one. The building is the same as the light itself in this particular programmatic conditions. Thank you. That's it.